My fiancée cheated with her boss and schemed to seize my $250.00 inheritance. But I turned the tables with a shocking twist she'll never see coming. Rain hammered against the floor-to-ceiling windows of my Belltown penthouse, the kind of Seattle downpour that makes you feel like the world's about to wash away. I was sprawled on the leather couch, laptop balanced on my knees, the glow of spreadsheets casting shadows across the room. It was 11:47 p.m., and I was chasing a deadline for a $10 million 0-cents portfolio analysis due at the hedge fund tomorrow. My fiancée, Sophia Bennett, was out at another client dinner. Her third this week. I didn't think much of it. Her job as a corporate PR star for a luxury brand kept her out late, schmoozing with big shots. 7 years together, and I'd learned to roll with her high-flying lifestyle. We were the couple everyone envied, the ones who had it all figured out. Or so I thought. Then an email pinged on her laptop, forgotten on the coffee table, and my world imploded. So while I was on board with the introduction of the coffee, I started to jerk over work. The notification was from Victor Kane, her boss. A single-line preview. Can't stop thinking about last night. You're unreal. My stomach lurched. I froze, my fingers hovering over my own keyboard, the numbers blurring into nonsense. It was like the air had been sucked out of the room. I told myself it was nothing, a misunderstanding, maybe a work thing taken out of context. But my hands moved before my brain caught up. Clicking open her laptop. No password, she never used one, always said she had nothing to hide. I opened her email, and there it was. A thread with Victor, 40 years old, married, and apparently way too comfortable with my fiancé. The words hit like a freight train. Hotel penthouse in Vegas was worth every second. When's the next conference? Another. You in that red dress last night. God. Sophia, you're killing me. My heart pounded so hard I thought it might crack my ribs. I scrolled, each message worse than the last, detailing a 6-month affair, hotel trysts in New York, late-night hookups in Miami, even a weekend in Las Vegas she'd sworn was a team-building retreat. And the worst part? The way she talked about me. Ethan's so predictable. He'd never suspect a thing. Thinks I'm working late, lol. Missionary on Sundays is his idea of passion. I felt sick, my vision tunneling as I read her mocking me to Victor, calling me clueless and a safe bet. 7 years of my life reduced to a punchline. My hands shook as I decrypted the emails, thank God for my knack with systems, and saved screenshots to a secure cloud drive. I didn't know what I'd do with them, but I needed proof. Something to anchor me to reality as my world unraveled. The rain outside roared louder, like it was trying to drown out the truth. I sat there, staring at our framed photos on the mantel, us hiking Rainier, laughing at a music festival, toasting at our engagement dinner. Was any of it real, or had I been a prop in Sophia's perfect Instagram life, the reliable guy she paraded for her parents while she played her games on the side? I don't know how long I sat there, lost in a haze of betrayal, when headlights flashed through the window. A car pulling into our building's garage. Sophia was home. My pulse spiked, adrenaline flooding my system. I closed her laptop, placed it exactly where it was, and waited. The doors swung open, and there she was. Glamorous as ever, her blonde hair damp from the rain, her designer coat slung over one arm. "Hey, babe," she said, kicking off her heels, oblivious to the storm brewing inside me. "You're up late? Work stuff?" I swallowed the bile rising in my throat and forced my voice to stay steady. "Sophia, we need to talk." Her eyes flicked to me, and for a split second I saw something. Annoyance, maybe, or calculation. Not guilt, never guilt. I held up my phone, the screenshots loaded. "What's going on with you and Victor?" Her face didn't crumble like I expected. No tears, no panic, just a smirk, like I'd caught her sneaking an extra dessert. "Oh, Ethan, don't be dramatic," she said, tossing her coat on a chair. "It's just stress relief. Work's been insane, and Victor's, well, he's good at certain things." She said it so casually, like she was talking about a yoga class. My jaw clenched, and I fought to keep my voice even. "Stress relief? You've been sleeping with your boss for 6 months, Sophia. New York, Vegas, Miami? You mocked me in your emails, called me boring, clueless. You think that's nothing? She rolled her eyes, actually rolled them and flipped her hair over her shoulder. God, Ethan, grow up. It's just sex. Doesn't mean anything. I needed to get it out of my system before we're married. 7 years with one guy? You can't blame me for wanting a little fun. She stepped closer, her voice softening, but it felt like a performance. You're not exactly lighting up the bedroom, babe. Victor's just an experience. Once we're married, it's done. Promise. I stared at her. The woman I'd loved for 7 years, the one I'd proposed to at a cliffside restaurant overlooking Puget Sound, dropping $4,500 0 cents on a ring because I wanted her to feel special. The woman I'd saved $60,000 0 cents with for our dream wedding, a Maldives honeymoon, a future we'd planned together. And now she was standing there telling me her affair was my fault because I wasn't exciting enough. You're serious? I said, my voice barely above a whisper. You think I should just accept this? Don't look at me like that, she snapped, her tone sharpening. You're blowing this out of proportion. Let's be real, Ethan. You're not the guy who turns heads. You're lucky someone like me even gave you a chance. Most women with my options wouldn't settle for, she gestured at me, her manicured hand waving vaguely like I was a used car she'd begrudgingly bought. Look, every bride gets cold feet. Some go skydiving. I chose Victor. It's not a big deal. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. 7 years of memories, vacations, late-night talks, her head on my shoulder during movie nights, flashed through my mind, and all I could think was any of it real? We're done, I said, my voice eerily calm despite the rage boiling inside. The wedding's off. Her eyes widened, and for the first time she looked rattled. Don't be ridiculous, Ethan. We've got $40,000 0 cents in deposits. My parents paid for the rehearsal dinner. Guests are flying in from London, Sydney, everywhere. You can't just walk away. She stepped toward me, her voice turning sweet again, manipulative. Come on, babe, we're good together. You know that. We may not, or we, have enough patience to say no. I'm sure you'll figure it out, I said, grabbing my keys, wallet, and laptop bag. You're resourceful like that. I headed for the door, her voice chasing me. Ethan, where the hell are you going? We have a cake tasting tomorrow. Don't you dare walk out that door. I didn't look back. The elevator ride down felt like a descent into another life, one where I wasn't the guy who'd been played for a fool. The rain was relentless as I drove through Seattle's slick streets, my wipers barely keeping up. I texted my best friend Logan. Need a place to crash. Sophia's been cheating. Wedding's off. His reply came in seconds. Doors open. Whiskey's ready. Always knew she was trouble. I didn't know where else to go, so I headed to Logan's condo in Capitol Hill, my mind replaying Sophia's words, her smirk, the emails. My phone buzzed, her again, from a new number. You're being childish. Come home and talk like an adult. I ignored it, but then something caught my eye in the rearview mirror. A black SUV tailing me too closely, its headlights cutting through the rain like predator eyes. I sped up, weaving through traffic, but the SUV matched my every move. My heart raced. This wasn't random. I took a sharp turn onto a side street, tires screeching on wet pavement, and gunned it through a yellow light. The SUV followed, closing the gap. Was this Victor? Someone he'd sent? I didn't know, but panic clawed at my chest as I floored it, darting through Capitol Hill's narrow streets. I swerved into an alley, killed my lights, and held my breath. The SUV roared past, and I waited, pulse hammering until I was sure it was gone. Shaking, I drove to Logan's, checking my mirrors every second. Logan was waiting at his door, a bottle of whiskey in hand. Jesus, man, you look like you've seen a ghost, he said, pulling me inside. His girlfriend, Ava, was there, setting up the guest room without a word. They didn't push for details, just handed me a glass and let me sit in silence, the weight of the night pressing down. I couldn't shake the image of that SUV, the feeling someone was watching me. Was I paranoid, or was Victor's reach longer than I'd thought? The next morning, my phone was a war zone. Texts from Sophia, escalating from fake concern to outright venom. You're throwing away 7 years over nothing. My parents already paid for the flowers, Ethan. Grow up. I blocked her again, but the messages kept coming from new numbers. At work, I could barely focus. My boss, Claire, pulled me aside, her face tight. Ethan, I heard about your personal issues. Sophia's firm is a major client. This drama could tank our $10 million 0 cents deal. Keep it together or we're all screwed. Her words hit like a slap. My career, the one thing I'd always controlled, was now at risk because of Sophia's lies. I took a personal day and holed up at Logan's, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of our relationship. Had I missed signs? Was I really the clueless guy she'd laughed about? Then a text came from an unexpected source. Mia, Sophia's best friend and maid of honor. Can we meet? It's urgent. Pike Place Market, noon. I figured Sophia had sent her to smooth things over, but curiosity got the better of me. I needed answers, even if they hurt. Pike Place was buzzing. Tourists snapping photos, vendors shouting about fresh salmon. Mia was waiting at a corner cafe, her dark hair pulled back, her eyes nervous but determined. Before I could sit, she blurted, I know about Sophia and Victor, and it's not the first time. My coffee nearly spilled. What? I managed, my voice hoarse. Mia slid her phone across the table, showing texts from Sophia. Ethan's so easy to fool. Thinks I'm at a client meeting when I'm with Victor. God, he's pathetic. Another? Hooked up with a guy from the conference last year. Ethan didn't even blink when I came home at 3 a.m. Mia's voice was low, almost ashamed. She's been like this since college. Cheated on her ex with half the frat house. I thought she'd changed for you, but she trailed off, showing me a photo of Sophia kissing some stranger at a club, time-stamped weeks after our engagement. Captioned, still auditioning for husband material. Why are you telling me this? I asked, my head spinning. You're her best friend. Mia sighed, pushing her hair back. I was, but she's not the same person anymore. The promotions, the designer bags, the penthouse, it's gone to her head. She mocked me when I lost my job last month, said I'd cramp her vibe if I crashed at your place. We've been friends for a decade and she couldn't spare a couch. She paused, her eyes meeting mine. And the way she talks about you, it's cruel. You don't deserve it. Then came the kicker. She's been using your wedding fund, Mia said. Drained $20,000, 0 cents for Victor, $5,000, 0 cents on a watch, a weekend in Napa, even a spa day for his wife to keep her out of the house. I gripped the table, my knuckles white. That fund was our future. My late nights at the hedge fund, skipping vacations, pouring every bonus into it while Sophia spent it on her affair. I left the cafe in a daze, Mia's words echoing. I didn't notice the figure watching me from across the street, a man in a dark jacket, his face obscured by a hood. When I got back to Logan's, I found my car's windshield cracked, a brick on the hood with a note, back off or it gets worse. My blood ran cold. This wasn't just about Sophia anymore. Someone, Victor, probably, wanted me silenced. Over the next few days, Mia and I texted constantly, at first about Sophia's lies, then about everything else, music, hiking, our dreams. She was a photographer, scraping by as a freelancer, her passion for capturing raw moments, a stark contrast to Sophia's curated Instagram facade. One night, at a Capitol Hill bar with Logan and Ava, Mia showed up in a vintage Nirvana tee, and we ended up debating the best grunge albums. For the first time since that email, I laughed. Really laughed. Her eyes crinkled when she smiled, and I noticed how she actually listened, remembered details, cared. Sophia would have shut the conversation down, rolling her eyes at my nerdy interests. Logan nudged me later, grinning. Dude, she's into you. Don't be an idiot. I brushed it off. Too soon, too messy. But I couldn't ignore the spark. Mia was different, real in a way Sophia never was. But then my phone rang, an unknown number. A low voice hissed, "Drop it, Caldwell, or you'll regret it." The line went dead, and I stood frozen, the bar's noise fading to a dull roar. Victor's corporate world was ruthless. Did he have the pull to make these threats real? Sophia's texts grew nastier. "You're pathetic, Ethan. I'll sell your stupid watch collection to cover the wedding you're ruining. Those watches, worth $20,000, 0 cents. Were from my Uncle Frank, the only father figure I'd had after my parents' plane crash. Each one held a memory, games at Safeco Field, him teaching me to wind them just right. I couldn't let her touch them. Mia offered to help retrieve my stuff while Sophia was at a work dinner, probably with Victor. We slipped into the penthouse, my heart pounding as I grabbed my watches and documents. Mia found Sophia's journal, her handwriting meticulous, after-marriage plan, secure Ethan's $250,000 0 cents inheritance, let Victor invest it. Phase out Logan and Ava, fake miscarriage for sympathy, keep Victor for VP promotion. My knees buckled. She'd planned to trap me, use me, discard me, all while sleeping with her boss for a corner office. Then we found a USB drive in her desk, labeled insurance. It held fake texts, doctored to make me look controlling, abusive. Videos of Sophia and Victor too graphic to stomach. She'd built a trap to ruin me if I ever fought back. Mia's face paled. She's been gaslighting you for years, she whispered, making you think you're the problem. That night at Logan's, something shifted. Mia and I talked for hours on his balcony, the Seattle skyline glittering below. I told her about losing my parents, how numbers became my refuge, how Sophia chipped away at my confidence. She shared how Sophia controlled her life too, vetoing her dates, stealing credit for her photos. We were two people waking up from the same nightmare. Then, without warning, we kissed. It wasn't planned, wasn't revenge. It was real, raw, like finding air after drowning. "What are we doing?" Mia whispered, her voice trembling. "I don't know," I said, my forehead against hers, "but it doesn't feel wrong." We agreed to keep it quiet, to deal with Sophia first. But as I lay awake that night, her warmth lingering, I couldn't shake the questions. Was this real, or just two broken people clinging together? And what did Victor know? Because someone was watching me, and they weren't stopping. The Seattle skyline flickered through the rain-streaked windows of Logan's condo, a blur of neon and shadow that matched the chaos in my head. It had been 3 days since I walked out on Sophia, 3 days since I found her emails with Victor, 3 days since that black SUV chased me through the city's slick streets. My life, once a straight line of work, love, and plans for a future with Sophia, was now a tangled mess of betrayal, threats, and a kiss with Mia that I couldn't stop replaying. I sat on Logan's couch, my phone buzzing with another text from an unknown number. "You're making a mistake, Ethan. Come home. We can fix this." Sophia, of course, using burner numbers like some low-rent spy. I deleted it, but her words clung like damp fog, insistent, suffocating, and cold. Logan handed me a coffee, his brow furrowed. "You look like hell, man. You sure you're okay?" I wasn't. The weight of Sophia's betrayal pressed harder each day, and the cracked windshield of my car, the brick with its ominous note, "Back off or it gets worse," kept me up at night. Was it Victor? Someone he hired? Or was I losing it, seeing threats where there were none? I shrugged, forcing a smile. "Things need to get through this. Work's a mess. Sophia's a nightmare, and now I'm dodging mystery SUVs." Ava, Logan's girlfriend, poked her head out of the kitchen, her voice gentle but firm. "You need to talk to someone, Ethan. Not just us. This is heavy." She was right, but therapy felt like admitting defeat, like Sophia had broken me. Instead, I clung to the one thing keeping me grounded, Mia. Her texts were a lifeline. Funny memes about Seattle's endless rain, links to obscure indie bands, and updates on Sophia's lies. But last night's kiss, that raw, unexpected moment on Logan's balcony, complicated everything. Was it real or just two people shattered by the same woman, reaching for something to hold on to? My phone buzzed again, not Sophia this time, but Mia. "Meet me at Pike Place, same cafe, noon, got something you need to see." My pulse quickened. Mia had already blown my world open once with Sophia's texts. What else could she have? I grabbed my jacket, ignoring Logan's raised eyebrow. "Be careful, man," he called as I headed out. "This whole thing's starting to feel like a bad movie." The rain had eased to a drizzle as I drove to Pike Place, the market's bustle a chaotic contrast to my nerves. I scanned the crowd, half expecting that hooded figure from last time, but saw only tourists and vendors. Mia was at the cafe, her camera bag slung over her shoulder, her dark eyes scanning a notebook with fierce intensity. "Ethan," she said, sliding it across the table before I could sit. "You need to see this." It was Sophia's journal, its sleek leather cover hiding a plan so cold it made my blood freeze. After marriage, secure Ethan's $250,000 0 cents inheritance. Convince him to let Victor invest it. Phase out Logan and Ava. Negative influences. Fake miscarriage by year 2 for sympathy. Keep Victor for VP promotion. Each word was a knife, outlining a future where I was a pawn, my life scripted to serve Sophia's ambition. "I found it in her desk last night," Mia said, her voice low. "There's more. She's been siphoning your wedding fund. $20,000. 0 cents. Gone on Victor's gifts. A $5,000 0 cents watch. A Napa Valley weekend. Even a spa day for his wife to clear the house for them." I gripped the table, my vision swimming. That fund was our dream. $60,000 0 cents we'd scraped together, me working overtime at the hedge fund, Sophia promising to match my contributions. Now I saw her lies for what they were, a calculated heist. "There's a USB, too," Mia added, sliding a small drive across. "Videos, emails, plans to frame you as abusive if you ever caught her. She's been building a case against you for years." I couldn't speak. The USB burned in my hand, a ticking bomb of evidence. Sophia wasn't just cheating, she was orchestrating my destruction. Mia reached out, her fingers brushing mine. "I'm so sorry, Ethan. I should have told you sooner. I thought she'd stop, that she loved you deep down." Her eyes held guilt, but also something else. Resolve, maybe even defiance. "We can't let her get away with this." Before I could respond, my phone rang, an unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. A low voice growled, "Back off, Caldwell, or you'll regret it." The line went dead, and I stared at the screen, my heart pounding. Mia's eyes widened. "Who was that?" I shook my head, the memory of that SUV chase flashing back. "I don't know, but it's not random. Victor's got connections. Corporate, maybe worse." We left the cafe, my mind racing. I needed my belongings, my uncle's $20,000 0 cents watch collection, financial documents, anything Sophia could destroy. She'd already threatened to sell the watches, heirlooms from Uncle Frank, each one tied to memories of baseball games and late-night talks after my parents' plane crash. Mia volunteered to help, knowing Sophia's schedule. Another work event tonight, likely with Victor. We planned to slip into the penthouse, grab my stuff, and get out. The drive to Belltown was tense, the city's lights blurring through the drizzle. I parked a block away, my nerves on edge. The penthouse was dark, but as we approached, I noticed the door ajar. My stomach dropped. "Stay behind me," I whispered to Mia. We stepped inside and the place was trashed. Drawers yanked open, papers scattered, my laptop gone. Someone had been here, and it wasn't Sophia. A shadow moved in the hallway, and I froze as a man in a black hoodie lunged, shoving me against the wall. "You were warned," he hissed, his breath hot against my face. Mia screamed, grabbing a lamp and swinging it, catching him off guard. He stumbled, and I tackled him, adrenaline surging. He slipped free, bolting out the door. We didn't chase him. My heart was pounding too hard, and Mia was shaking. "We need to get out," she said, grabbing my arm. We scooped up my watches and documents, my hands trembling as I checked the safe. The USB was still there, along with Sophia's journal. We fled, the echo of that man's voice haunting me. Victor wasn't just a cheating boss. He had resources, maybe dangerous ones. Back at Logan's, I plugged in the USB. The videos were worse than I'd imagined. Explicit, humiliating, Sophia and Victor laughing about me. Emails detailed her plan to funnel my inheritance into Victor's investment fund, a scheme that reeked of fraud. Fake texts made me look controlling, abusive, a safety net if I ever fought back. Logan and Ava were speechless when I showed them. "This is insane," Logan said, pacing. "You need to go to the police." But I hesitated. Sophia's father was a tech CEO with lawyers on speed dial. Victor's corporate world was a maze of power and influence. I needed a plan, not just evidence. That's when Sophia's text escalated. "You're pathetic, Ethan. I'll sell your watches to cover the $40,000 0 cents you're costing me. Get back here, or I'll make your life hell. I shouted Mia, who clenched her fists. She's desperate, she said. She knows you're onto her. The next day, my boss called me into her office, her face grim. Ethan, rumors are circulating. Sophia's telling people you're unstable, that you're tanking our deal with her firm. The board's watching. You're up for a promotion, but this could kill it. My stomach churned. Sophia wasn't just breaking my heart. She was sabotaging my career. I left work early, only to find a new threat scratched into my car's hood. Last chance. I called Mia, my voice shaking. This is getting out of hand. I need to end this. We met at a Capitol Hill bar, Logan and Ava joining us. For a moment, I forgot the chaos, laughing with Mia over her passion for film photography, debating Kodak versus Fujifilm. Her eyes lit up, so different from Sophia's calculated charm. Logan nudged me, grinning. She's into you, man. Don't screw this up. I waved him off, but the spark was undeniable. Mia wasn't just Sophia's friend. She was vibrant, real, someone who saw me. But as we left the bar, my phone rang again. Another anonymous threat. Stop digging, or you're done. I scanned the street, paranoia creeping in. Was someone watching us right now? The rehearsal dinner loomed. A $4,000 0-cent affair, paid for by Sophia's parents, Tom and Patricia, at a swanky downtown restaurant. 50 guests, including my Uncle Frank, Logan, Ava, and Mia, were expecting a celebration. Sophia had been texting me daily, alternating between pleas, "We're perfect together, Ethan, don't throw this away," and threats. "You'll regret this, my father's lawyers will bury you." Her sister Lily emailed begging me to reconsider, fed a lie about a misunderstanding. I knew the truth and I was done playing nice. Mia and I planned the showdown. She'll try to spin it, Mia warned. You need to hit hard, show everything. I nodded, the journal and the USB burning a hole in my bag. The dinner was a powder keg. Sophia playing the radiant bride, her hand brushing mine, her smile a mask. Her parents toasted our perfect love, oblivious to the storm. During appetizers, Sophia clinked her glass, her voice syrupy. We're so thrilled you're all here. Ethan's been a little stressed, but we're stronger than ever, right, honey? She reached for my hand. I pulled back and stood. Actually, I said, my voice steady despite the adrenaline, the wedding's off. Sophia's been having an affair with her boss, Victor Kane. The room went silent, forks frozen mid-air. Sophia's smile vanished, her eyes blazing. He's lying, she shrieked. I held up my phone, the journal's pages scanned, a proof. Emails. Videos. Her own words. She's been cheating for 6 months, using our $60,000 0-cent wedding fund for Victor's gifts, planning to steal my $250,000 0-cent inheritance. I passed out copies of her journal, her cold plan laid bare. Isolate my friends. Fake a miscarriage. Keep Victor for promotions. Nia stood, her voice shaking but firm. It's not just Victor. Sophia's cheated with at least 3 others during their engagement. I covered for her thinking she'd change, but she's toxic. Gasps rippled through the room. Sophia's parents paled, her brother glaring. Sophia screamed, "You traitorette, Mia!" then turned to me. "You slept with her, didn't you? You're disgusting." I stayed calm, her own words my weapon. "You told me to have fun, Sophia. I just took your advice." The room erupted. Guests whispering, Sophia's mother sobbing. I dropped the final bomb. She forged texts to make me look abusive, a backup plan if I caught her. I played a video from the USB, Sophia laughing with Victor about my pathetic trust. Her father stood, face red. "Is this true?" he demanded. Sophia's tears were instant, fake. "It was one mistake," she cried. But the evidence was undeniable. As we left chaos behind us, 2 men grabbed me in the parking lot, one pinning me while the other swung. Mia screamed, throwing her bag at them, giving me a chance to break free. We ran to my car, hearts pounding, and sped off. "Who were they?" Mia gasped. I didn't know, but Victor's name loomed large. Back at Logan's, we caught our breath, the weight of the night sinking in. "We did it," Mia said, her hand on mine. "She's exposed." The fallout was swift. Victor's wife, Elise, found the evidence, and with her father's influence as company chairman, Victor was fired, his career in ruins. Sophia was sacked for misusing company funds, her $35,000 credit card debt racked up on Victor's gifts, crushing her. I'd moved most of our savings to a hidden account months ago, planning a honeymoon surprise, so she'd only stolen $5,000, 0 cents. Her luxury life collapsed. She lost her apartment, her leased Porsche repossessed, her Instagram persona shredded, as friends shared the truth online. Mia and I started over, slow and honest, hiking Rainier, sharing playlists, no secrets between us. Logan, Ava, and Frank welcomed her like family, and I started therapy, rebuilding the confidence Sophia had chipped away. Elise became an unexpected ally, meeting me for coffee, comparing notes on our betrayals. She was divorcing Victor, her father ensuring he'd never work in Seattle again. "We survived them," she said, raising her cup. I nodded, feeling lighter than I had in years. Sophia moved back with her parents, jobless, her lies exposed. Her father called, his voice heavy. "We failed her," he said. "I'm sorry you paid the price." I didn't hate Sophia anymore, just pitied her, a woman who thought she could control everyone but lost it all. As I stood on Logan's balcony with Mia, the city sparkling below, I felt free. The threats, the ambush, the lies. They'd tried to break me, but I was still here, stronger, with someone who saw the real me. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in 7 years, it was mine. What else was Sophia hiding? Who sent those thugs? Is Victor's network still after me? Will Mia's guilt hold her back? Is there a bigger game at play?